Now run for my life and that's the day. Alright, you're insane. Now run for my life and that's the day. You're not alright. Down, 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 down. Dun, 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 dun. No, I did not swear. I did not swear. I did not swear. How did he hit me? This is on a Lebanese. Wow. I kind of saw that. How to live stream with Streamlabs on PC for YouTube.
After watching this video, you will have all the tools you need to start streaming using Streamlabs Desktop to Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, Kick, or any other platform with the best settings, widgets, graphic overlays, and more. Let's get to it. To get this started, you're going to want to head over to streamlabs.com where you can download Streamlabs Desktop 100% for free to your Mac or Windows computer. I also left the link in the description below so that you can follow along, and it does help out the channel if you use it. Once the program is finished installing, go ahead and select Finish and it'll launch Streamlabs Desktop. And the first thing that you'll be brought to is a page for you to log in with your account. You can log in using a Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, or other type of account. Make sure that you allow Streamlabs to connect to that account, and then from there, you'll be brought back to the Streamlabs Desktop application where you'll be presented with your layout editor. To give you guys a quick tour around Streamlabs Desktop, let's first start off on the left side where you're going to see this arrow icon that's pointing right. Click on that and that will expand the left side panel where you're going to see at the top application specific customization features such as the editor where you can modify the layout of what your stream command center looks like. You can also enable studio mode in this section, which is great to do in case you want to modify some of your scenes or sources while you're already live and you don't want your viewers to see what you're currently in the middle of trying to fix or build, we'll keep that off for now. Below that, you have your themes, which is a collection of free and paid for themes that Streamlabs Desktop offers that you can use to add some character or further customization to the look of your stream. You have the App Store for additional add-ons to the Streamlabs Desktop app, and then you have the highlighter feature, which is an editing option where you can add in or use clips that you've recorded out of Streamlabs Desktop to cut and edit together, then upload directly to YouTube. Below that, you have 3 Streamlabs links that you can check out. One is for Ultra, which is that's their premium paid for service that you can check out. You can access your dashboard from here, and then you have the Get Help link in case you need some further assistance. Next, you have the settings option where you can modify your video, audio, and stream settings. In the middle where you see this black space right now, that's where your scene is going to be presented with all of its objects or sources within it, which we'll show how to add in just a second. In this bottom panel is where you're going to have your scene. So you can have a scene for your gameplay, you can have a scene for starting, you can have a scene for showing your entire face cam or webcam. You're going to have sources within that scene to showcase what you're trying to present in that scene. Next to that, you're going to see your mixer, which is going to contain all of the different audio components or sources that you can monitor that are active within your stream. If you look a little bit further to the right, you're going to see an arrow that's pointing to the left. Click on this, and this is where your entire chat dialogue for your stream will show up. Now, if we go to the bottom panel, this is where we can test the alerts within our scenes to make sure that they're working the way that they're supposed to be. You can start and stop your recordings from here to the right of that, this is where you can enable the replay buffer. And what is the replay buffer? Well, to put it simply, this is essentially a highlight clip recorder. So let's say you weren't recording the last 30 seconds of gameplay, but something really cool happened. With the replay buffer turned on, you can now capture that moment that you would have missed otherwise. Next to that, you have an option to schedule an upcoming future stream. And then to the right of that is your go live button to push your streams to whatever platform that you're planning to stream to. Looking all the way to the left-hand side on this bottom panel are going to be your computer performance statistics. So what's your CPU? What FPS are you pushing on your stream? This will also be the area where you'll see if you're dropping any frames or encountering any errors for your stream. Next, let's head over to our settings so that we make sure that these are right before we start building out any scenes or sources. The primary ones that I want to show you are first the stream section. So this is where you're going to have all of the different accounts that you plan on streaming to connected. Now, multi-streaming is not a free feature of Streamlabs Desktop, but at least you can select which platform you want to stream to. So just make sure you're logged into the accounts you ever plan on streaming to. If you want to go the custom route of using a stream key and a particular stream URL, let's say from Kick, for example, then you can go to the bottom here to select stream to custom ingest. For the stream type, you can change that to custom streaming server, and then you can put in that URL and that stream key to push to that special destination that don't have a service offering in Streamlabs Desktop. Next, let's check out the output tab, and this is where we can configure our settings for our stream. So I'm going to stick within the advanced mode here, and audio track, I'm good to keep that at 1, but for the encoder, I'm going to have my hardware encoder selected, which is going to be my dedicated graphics card on my computer. Now, I know not all of you guys probably have a dedicated graphics card, so if that's the case, you're going to want to use the X264 option, which is going to be your CPU. Rate control, I would keep that at CBR, which stands for constant bitrate. For the bitrate itself, I would do up to a 6,000 kilobit per second bitrate. You really don't want to go below the 3,000 mark because that'll start affecting the quality of your stream. But for places like Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, you're going to be perfectly fine streaming up to a 6,000 kilobit per second bitrate. Just make sure that your internet is up to par, meaning that hopefully you have at least maybe a 10 megabit per second upload speed or higher. If you're experiencing network issues while you're streaming, you're going to want to lower your bitrate closer to that 3,000 mark. There's no need to use a custom buffer size. Below that, the keyframe interval, It's good to set this at 2. That's great for a lot of streaming platforms. For the CPU usage preset, if you're using the X264 option, of course, it's good just to keep this at very fast, or if your CPU is really good, you can set this to faster. But if your computer isn't so great, you're gonna wanna set this to super fast or ultra fast to alleviate the frame dropping issues. For your profile, you can set this to high. That goes for the graphics card as well if you're using that for your encoder. There's nothing really you need to set for tune. Maybe you could give 0 latency as a good option, but that's just optional. If you look under the recording tab, I would change your video format to MP4 as that's much more compatible with a wide array of video editors. Below that, you can keep your encoder the same as the stream settings. On the far right, you'll see the replay buffer tab where you can either enable or modify your replay buffer settings. Next, within the audio section, you can keep the sample rate and the channel set to their default settings. Below that, you're gonna have the desktop audio device 1. Here, you can either change it from the default or you can switch it to wherever you know that the audio is going to. So that could mean your speakers or your headphones. Select the corresponding device so that you can get your desktop audio to flow through. Below that, you're gonna see your mic auxiliary device 1. And if you select this drop down, this is where you can choose the microphone of your choice that's plugged into your computer. So in my case, it's this Elgato Wave 3 microphone. So that's what I would choose in this setting. If you do decide to keep this at default, Streamlabs Desktop is just gonna take in the microphone that you have set at your operating system level. Jumping over to the video section, this is where we can set our base and output canvas resolution. So by default, they should be set to 1920 by 1080, but let's say you want to record and stream in 2K or 4K resolution, then you're gonna need to select the drop down and choose custom, and this is where you can actually put in that custom base canvas resolution that'll also need to be applied to the output canvas. And then just make sure you adjust your bitrate within the following ranges that you see on screen with respect to the resolution that you plan on recording or streaming in. But once you're happy with your resolution, you can select your downscale filter. The best would be 32 samples to go with. Your FPS type is good to just keep at common, and then you can set that common FPS value, which you can set up to 60. If you like, you can also set some custom hotkeys, which is being able to select certain keys on your keyboard to quickly perform actions within the application. You can also achieve this same result by using the remote control feature. So if you scan this QR code, it'll take you to install the remote control app from Streamlabs so that you can use your phone to wirelessly control your stream. With the settings out the way, let's start adding some sources to our scene. So the first scene I have here, I'm actually gonna rename this and call it gameplay. To add a source, we just need to go to the right of sources and select the plus button. And this is where we're gonna get a whole catalog of sources.